Is the Gep RC Mark V a good starting point for freestyle and long range? The Mark V is a great drone. 5 inches are not great for long range. If you care about long range, you want like a 7-inch would be my recommendation. Or go down to an ultralight 4-inch. Those are good choices. 5 inches are really, they're in a bad location for long range. They can be made to long range, but that's just not what they're great at. So the Mark V is a good first FPV drone if you're interested in freestyle. I don't recommend that beginners get into long range because you're just very likely to lose your quad, and that sucks. I recommend that beginners only fly where if they crash, they could recover their drone because the chances of a beginner crashing are so much higher. I would say off the top of my head that before you start flying long range or medium range, and let's say, what's the definition of long range or medium range? If you crash and you can't just walk to where your drone is and pick it up, that's the line. Okay? Arbitrarily, I'm deciding that's the line. I would say somebody should put in 6 months. I just made that number up. Like, you need to have enough experience to go, oh, I lost video and I have no idea why. My quad fail-safed and I have no idea why. I crashed my quad and then 3 weeks later it fell out of the sky because the motor was damaged in the crash and I didn't notice, and then I burned the motor or the ESC. You need to have these experiences so that when you're flying long range and you don't have the option to retrieve the quad, you will go, oh, no, I shouldn't fly today. I crashed and I damaged my motor. And now I know that I can't just take off and go fly and I'm going to lose my quad. And I just feel like you need that experience before you fly long range. If you have so much money that you just lose a quad and don't care, yeah, fly long range. Don't fly over people, though. But even then, like, if you crash and, like, your LiPo light's on fire and you start a forest fire, that's bad. Don't do that. So long range, medium range is like, it's a bigger deal than you think, and beginners shouldn't do it, in my humble opinion. Beginners, there's plenty to excite you flying short range, close range, and really getting good at it. Are used DJI V1 still a good choice? Depends on the price you get them at. They're only going to work with the Vista. They're not going to work, and the RunCam Link and that VTX, whatever name you put on it, they're not going to work with the 03. You would need to get them at a good price, and you would need to be okay with running the cameras that are available for that video transmitter. But I think for the right price, they could be a good choice. Super chat from Kmart FPV here. Thank you for $5, Kmart FPV. I'm on the AOS 5 frame and I'm thinking about switching to something TrueX and more durable. What do you think? I will say that the main weakness of the AOS 5 frame is the lack of durability. Not to say that it's not durable, but that it is less durable than some people would prefer. That frame was designed in some ways for resonance and flight performance first and durability second. The TrueX, I don't think is that important. It's not a dead cat. It's just a rectangle. Dead cat can have some effect on flight characteristics, but rectangle versus square, I don't think it really matters. Okay. Are antenna mounts interchangeable between the V1 and the V2 JB frame? They are. All of the 3D prints from the V1 will work on the V2 and vice versa. Let's see here. Thank you, Lord Hendricks. Good to see you again. A new drone at full throttle makes a sound like when the prop is upside down. What else rattles like that? Lord Hendricks, my guess is going to be that you have a prop that's deflecting. If you have a prop that is being run at a higher RPM than it can handle, you'll get kind of like a sound. It's the best I can reproduce it. And the solution is to use a motor output limit to slow your motors down. Like this will especially happen if you're running particularly high kV motors for your voltage. Some props are just stiffer than others and resist deflection better. So the solution is either use a motor output limit to reduce your max RPM or use different props. Do you think a GPS is necessary? Not necessary. Most of my aircraft don't have GPS. But Betaflight doesn't have great return to home, so if you're flying like waypoint missions and long range, then a GPS is 100% necessary. Do you think in 2 years' time FPV will have a significant breakthrough? Because I sold my goggles to and everything, and I'm going to start again in 2025. Hard to say. DJI will probably have a new FPV video transmitter out in 2 years. Maybe not. Unknown. Very, very interesting and unknown. Will I get in trouble if I do a Part 107 mission without a visual observer covering all my blind spots? No. You will not get in trouble. The chances of the FAA noticing or caring are very, very small. The FAA would like you to have a visual observer covering all the blind spots. You will not get in trouble. I feel very confident saying, unless you are just the most unlucky person in the world, you will not get in trouble. Focus, thank you for a $5 super chat. You do what you are passionate about. Thank you. Yeah, I saw your comment, Focus, about how you changed branding, and that's cool. I gotta say, I hate thinking of YouTube as a business. And what I mean by that is, like, I like trying to game the system to get the most, like, views and ad revenue and dollars that I can off the content that I make. So if I make a video about topic X, I actually kind of enjoy the process of getting good at YouTube and figuring out how to make the thumbnail and the title as good as they can be to get the maximum views. I like the process of thinking, how can I structure the video to give the user the most value, and also, like, where can I put my call to action where I ask them to be a patron? Like, how can I structure those things to maximize the number of people who decide to become a patron or otherwise, like, compensate me? Like, while still not, like, descending into clickbait and abusive, shitty behavior, while still, like, feeling good about myself. I enjoy that stuff. But I don't like thinking, what content should I make to get more views? The content that I want to make, to me, it's like, that's the kind of thing where I would get up in the morning and go, oh God, I hate my life. I hate my job. Because to me, the making of the content feels very personal. And so I want to make content that I'm excited to make. I don't want to focus group the content and say, if I made content about X, I would get more views, so that's what I have to do. I would just go work for somebody else at that point. If I want a focus group to tell me what content I should make, I could just have a boss who tells me what content to make. And I don't like either of those things. I will say, sometimes I make content and, like, it gets a shitload of views, and I'm like, wow, why did I make this content before? But how do you know what that's going to be? It's very hard.